Chapter 195. Harold was stunned by the sight in front of him. He knew that Alex was good at fighting, but he really did not expect that the bodyguards who had been armed with knives could not even defeat Alex. Harold started shaking when he saw the murderous look on Alex's face. To be honest, the only reason why Harold had come to claim the villa as a property of the Richard family was because the old lady had given him instructions to do so. Since he had an enmity with Alex, Harold was more than willing to take advantage of this opportunity to abolish and destroy Alex. However, he really had not expected Alex to actually defeat all of the bodyguards so easily. Moreover, he was not hurt at all. Was Alex really human? At this time, Alex had already walked toward Harold with a deadly expression on his face. He had to teach this dumbass a good lesson today so that he could finally understand who he was dealing with. Harold trembled in fear when he saw Alex walking toward him, and he quickly blurted out, "You can't kill me. I am the only grandson of the Richard family. If you dare to even touch a single strand of my hair, the Richard family will never let you off." Alex had a ruthless and indifferent expression on his face as he walked towards Harold, step by step. When he was finally standing in front of Harold, he grabbed him by his collar before he said in a cold voice, "In my eyes, the Richard family that you just mentioned is nothing to me at all. Emma, second uncle, please. Please tell Alex to stop." In a state of desperation, Harold pleaded desperately for Emma and Trump to help him, completely forgetting how he had treated them before this. Emma glared at Harold with a cold expression on her face before she said, "You deserve to end up the way you did today. You asked for it." Trump stared at Emma before he looked at Harold, struggling internally. In fact, Trump was very disappointed with the Richard family. Even though Harold was his nephew, he did not care about their family ties at all. If so, why should he care about him? However, Trump knew that the Richard family still held some power in Orris Hill. If Alex really ended up murdering Harold today, the Richard family would definitely seek revenge for him. Nevertheless, Trump replied helplessly, "Alex, just teach him a lesson." Alex thought for a moment before he nodded and pressed Harold against the ground. The gravel cut deep into Harold's face, and the blood would not stop flowing out of the wound. "I can spare your life, but since you have annoyed me and caused so much trouble to my family, I will make sure that you live a life worse than death itself." Then, Alex punched Harold hard in his lower abdomen. This punch hit Harold directly in his pubic area. Harold was an ordinary person with no fighting skills at all, and Alex's punch was sufficient to destroy his manhood. From now on, Harold would become an impotent man. As soon as Harold felt Alex's punch in his lower abdomen, he could not help but to lie down on the ground as he rolled around in pain. It was the worst pain he had ever felt in his life. Not only that, but Harold did not know the consequences of this punch and how it would completely change his life. Alex then called for security before calling the police to arrest all of these people. After that, he checked on Leo's injuries. Fortunately, Leo only suffered some external injuries and did not suffer any major injuries at all, and Alex immediately felt relieved. However, Alex was still furious at the Richard family. Since they chose to provoke him, they should not blame him for being cruel. After arriving home, Trump sat on the sofa, the bloodstains on his face already having dried up completely. He had a bruise on his nose and forehead, and his face was already slightly swollen from his injuries. Trump was also in a trance, and he felt very dizzy. His elder brother had ordered the bodyguards to beat him up today, and he felt really angry and frustrated because of that. Emma rubbed some medicine on his forehead before she said, "Dad, Alex has already avenged you. So, please do not take it to heart, okay?" Trump could only sigh as he replied, "I am okay. I am just really disappointed to know that my mother, my brother, and none of my relatives have ever treated me as one of their own." After that, Trump continued speaking, "Emma, since they have already driven you out of the Richard group, what are your plans for the future?"